mourning, anger, and a wanted man. Tell me what we're looking at right here.
This is an original reward poster that was issued but 5 days after the death of President Lincoln. Of course, at that point, Mr. Lincoln's assassin, John Wilkes Booth, was still at large. And as you can see, when you total up the reward amount, it's rather an extraordinarily high figure, $100,000. And we're once again talking about 1865. That would be many millions of dollars if we tried to do a comparison today.
It would seem normal to us to see a poster which has photographic images on it, but these are not images printed on the poster. They're actually photos that are stuck onto the poster. Is that right?
Yes, quite aside from its historic importance as a document of the Lincoln assassination, it's an interesting broadside of the time because it's most unusual, perhaps unprecedented, to actually find real photographs hand-applied onto the printed document. The images that we see, of course, in the center, the assassin, John Wilkes Booth, and then in this instance, two of his co-conspirators, David Harold and John Surratt, and they were both involved in the conspiracy.
Booth was not some anonymous assassin. He was a matinee idol.
He was a star of the theater, a member of the famous Booth family. Of course, his father was the late Junius Booth, certainly one of the preeminent Shakespearean actors of the earlier generation. And of course, his older brother, Edwin Booth, was a celebrated Shakespearean actor at the time and would become even more so, interestingly enough, after the assassination.
And Booth himself was considered almost a sex symbol.
The ladies loved him. He was very popular.
So the modern day equivalent would be, someone has assassinated the president, P.S. it's Antonio Banderas.
That's not too much of a stretch.
We see this as this incredible artifact, this incredible relic, but I would imagine that at the time, these posters were probably blanketed everywhere.
Yes, there are a few other extant versions, and none are quite alike. As once again, we have hand-applied photographs. On other extant versions, you will often see the picture of Booth removed. There was such ill feeling towards John Wilkes Booth immediately following the assassination that these posters, people would take the picture of Booth and they would mutilate it, they would cut it out, they would throw it in the fireplace. So there's very few extant versions of the broadside today that have all three pictures cleanly attached.
It really shows the depth of the rage and the feeling that people wanted to physically mutilate the pictures of John Wilkes Booth.
That is correct. Clark Evans, Head of Reference Services in the Rare Book and Special Collections Division, Library of Congress.